I've owned 26 cars by the age of 26, from childhood heroes to total clappers, and welcome to episode 3 of 26 by 26, featuring my old Nissan Skyline R32 GT-R. I'm rating my former flames based on 3 criteria: the overall experience, legacy value, and seller's remorse. Like anyone growing up with a PS2 controller glued to their hands, owning a GT-R was the dream. I'm hugely passionate about these cars, and the older I get, the more it spins me out that I owned a 600 horsepower R32 GT-R as a 21-year-old cadet journalist earning absolute peasant money.
Fuck off.
Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it to any other broke young battlers out there. It was a major financial burden, and the only reason I was able to afford it was because I'd been flipping cars since I was 17. However, this car had a built 2.6, a full Tomei titanium exhaust that sounded like this, and it was way faster than any car I'd ever driven. I was running stock brakes, so it's a miracle I didn't end up over the side of a mountain, considering my frontal lobe had barely developed, but my god, I felt like king of the hill every time I drove this car. From an ownership perspective, it set me broke, so that limits the overall score to an 8 out of 10. It did break down on me a few times, but the noises, achievement of ticking off such a huge goal, and friendships made while taming my very own Godzilla outweigh that constant financial burden. Legacy value for the R32 GT-R is a 7 out of 10. I'd give it a perfect 10 if it was a V-Spec or N1, but being a humble, common gunmetal grey based model gives it a slightly lower score. The R32 GT-R will forever be remembered locally to me in Kangaroo Land as the car that shook our true blue Holden and Ford touring legends to their core, and known wider around the world as one of Japan's first major steps to competing with the Germans on the world performance car stage. Pair that with some sweaty PlayStation generation kids thinking the GT-R is the best car ever created, and you've got yourself a king that will never be dethroned. Seller's remorse for the GT-R is only a 4 out of 10. Given how much of a GT-R diehard I am and how much I create about my passion for Nissan and Japanese cars on this page, it is a shame to not have my own anymore. And while I really miss it, I sold the R32 GT-R not to level up to another car, but to make a big boy purchase and buy my first property. Follow for more stories like this, because next week we're talking about the car that started this all, my Volkswagen Mark IV R32 Golf.